3:30, and I'd like to call to order this called meeting of the Weatherford College Board of Trustees, January 27th, 2017. Thank you very much for coming on short notice and also on a Friday evening. Brent, would you please provide the invocation?
Will. Thank you. Please bow with me. Lord, we thank you for today. We thank you for the beginning of a new semester for this college. Thank you for all the students you've brought. Lord, we pray for our board. Thank you for our board and those who have chosen to serve. Continue to be with them as they deliberate. Please protect our students as they go and come this weekend as well. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I'm going to call to go to closed session in just a minute, but before we got going, I wanted to talk a little bit about the background behind the meeting. The items I'm going to discuss are all public record anyway, and copies would be available for anybody that wants to obtain them that hasn't gotten them. We received a letter dated January 23rd, 2017 from Senators Craig Estes and Brian Birdwell. And I'll read that letter for the record. Dear members of the board, thank you for your service to Weatherford College, a fine institution whose interests we are proud to represent before the Texas Legislature. We write today regarding the Wise and Parker County campuses. The Wise County campus operates in a facility financed and constructed by the county and leased to the college. In 2007, the county's voters showed their support to the college with their approval of a 5-cent ad valorem tax. As the only satellite with an ad valorem assessment, Wise County taxpayers and leadership offer a unique level of support to the system. A subject of recent concern in Wise County is that of the roughly $3.4 million raised annually, a significant annual system fee of $500,000 to $1 million is assessed according to a formula determined by the Board of Trustees, whose membership does not include a representative of the county. So that they may obtain greater understanding and voice in that and other college matters of importance, we support the county's request for representation with a seat on the board. Joining me in supporting this request is Senator Brian Birdwell. Senator Birdwell represents the Hood County campus and supports this request on principle and in view that a similar issue of representation may one day affect his district. Thank you for your consideration of this request. If the board would please respond with its proposed timeline to add such representation or concerns about doing so by February 10th, we would be most appreciative. Signed, Senator Estes, Senator Birdwell, and a copy is provided to Representative Phil King. And I'm not aware that anyone at Weatherford College had been contacted or was aware of the letter until this week. We had about a day or so notice that there was a letter pending and that it might probably be coming in. Weatherford College has offered courses in Wise County for close to 40 years. And we agree, as Judge Clark was quoted in today's Weatherford Democrat, we have a successful and growing campus in Wise County. In October of 2007, the college and a Wise County local steering committee submitted a request to the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board regarding a branch campus maintenance tax for Wise County. And this is set out the process in the Texas Education Code about how you go do that. The Wise County steering committee officers were, and this was the officers, the committee was actually a little bit bigger than that, were Roy Eaton, Fred Myers, Judge Bill McElhaney, and William Myers. It's interesting to note, on page 32 of that 2007 request to the Higher Coordinating Board, it states, quote, levying of a BCMT branch campus maintenance tax does not authorize the county to have representation on the College Board of Trustees. This would occur only if the county voted to annex itself into the college's taxing district. That plan was subsequently approved, passed with flying colors by the coordinating board. Representation on the board was not proposed, but was intentionally excluded by both parties. The Wise County Steering Committee jointly produced the document that was submitted to the Higher Education Coordinating Board with the language detailing their expectations of board representation. Community colleges receive the primary funding from three sources, as most of you know. They get it through state appropriations, a property tax within the legal taxing district, and via student tuitions and fees. The state appropriations and the tuition fees generated by the Wise County campus and the students that attend there are allocated solely to the Wise County operations of that campus and included in their budget. In the 2007 request, it stated that the BCMT revenue would be expended to retire debt for the facility. They had to go pass a bond in order to build the structure in the campus up there, to maintain the physical plant and the grounds, and to supplement the annual operations budget due to any insufficient revenue from state appropriations and tuition and fees. And then also to build a reserve fund for unanticipated emergencies for the physical plant. In other words, if a tornado came through or something like that. There is a fund that I'll talk about in just a second that's there. In 2008, the Wise County voters approved a branch campus maintenance tax to build, maintain, and operate the college operations at the campus location. Right now, it was built between Bridgeport and Decatur, almost in the center of the county there, I think. Voters approved the tax of up to 5 cents per $100 evaluation. The tax was only leveled at 5 cents, though, for a short time in the first years, and then it was reduced by the county in 2010 and reduced again in 2012, and now sits at a little above 4.6 cents per $100 valuation. Now this brings in much lower revenues than needed to fund the county campus. Since construction didn't start for approximately 2 years after the voters approved the tax, an agreed to reserve account was started, and it grew substantially because we were able to put money in that was received from those early tax payments before they were spent. Under the terms of agreements between the college and Wise County, if the reserve ever falls below a level of $2 million, it is to be replenished by the county. Over the first 4 years of the operating of the Wise County campus, expenses have outpaced revenue, taking us even closer to the $2 million restricted reserve level. In case there was some amount in excess of $2 million, I don't remember the exact number, but because the expenses have exceeded the revenues, we've had to transfer some from that level, from that fund, over to the operating expenses. It is forecast that the unrestricted reserve will be down to the $2 million restricted reserve threshold within 3 years at the current level. Despite repeated attempts by the college officials to encourage Wise County to increase to the voter-approved maximum tax rate of 5 cents per $100 valuation, Wise County officials have declined to do so. Wise County has been unhappy with proportionate sharing of the indirect costs. However, they agreed in the 2000 jointly submitted proposal to the coordinating board that they understood indirect costs were an essential part of the jointly submitted proposal. The Wise County cost issue continues to be a result of several things. One is that Wise County built a facility almost twice the size that was discussed at the time we built and prepared the proposal phase, thus dramatically increasing the total cost. All the estimates that were provided by Wise County to use for the cost of the bond financing of the facility up there, which has to be paid back via the revenues that we receive, which includes the tax, the state appropriations, and the tuitions, was in the 4 to 6% range for the cost of financing. Unable to get financing on the open market, the county financed through their bond company for interest in the 8% range. The forecasted 2018 amount for the bond cost provided by the county in 2010, in 2010 we were close to actually getting the funds, getting the bond issued. Their forecasted cost was $1.9 million a year. However, the actual 2018 debt service now, per the negotiations that have been made and are in the bond payment schedule, is approximately $2.6 million a year instead of the 1.9. Of course, setting the tax rate lower than that authorized by the voters led to a more rapid depletion of the unrestricted reserve account. The forecasted branch campus tax revenues in 2010 for the 2018 period were approximately $4.1 million. However, the actual 2000 branch campus tax revenues are appearing to be closer to $2.8 million. Another significant difference. And then another issue is the drop in the forecasted property values against which the tax rate is applied. As we know, as natural gas production has fallen down, then the revenues from that have been falling because the supply is so big around the world. The net effect of the items above is alone approximately a $2 million annual difference in the annual available revenue. Now, regarding the indirect expenses that are at issue, and this is called a significant annual system fee of $500,000 to $1 million in the letter. This is Wise County's pro rata share of the costs associated with operating and administering the entire Weatherford College system that has a link to the Wise County campus. This includes, but it's not limited to, the President's Office, the Business Services, Purchasing, Payroll, Human Resources, Technology Services, Central Telephone System, Creative and Graphic Services, Campus Security. Now, like for campus security, they receive no charge at all for the campus security at this campus. They do receive a pro rata share cost of the chief and his secretary down there in order to maintain the administration and operation of the overall security force. Student services, admissions, registrar, student counseling, career center testing, financial aid, instructional deans, etc. The Wise County campus is dependent on the main campus to function. Without the work from the departments mentioned above, it wouldn't be possible for the campus to operate. And so when we laid out the plan in 2007, the forecasted spend plan budgets in there clearly show an indirect cost piece. So it's always been known from the very time this thing started. And given the facts of the recent events, call the board meeting today. There's probably going to be a couple more in the very near future. The board needs to discuss and develop a position in order to respond to the letter by the requested date by the respected senators. So that's the background of why we're here. And now we're going to go into a closed session to consult with our attorney and start talking about some of the approaches that we have. Don't know if when we come out of there we'll have anything much to say, because this is going to take a little while. It's going to take thought to be able to ingest all the things that we've got to talk about and then come up with an agreed to plan and then present it to a vote in open session. So everything that was provided in this packet is available to you. We can get you a copy of the original plan should you desire. Probably we'll email it to you or give it to you on a thumb drive. And then everything that I've said is recorded on the camera and will be published on the website hopefully this evening if Larry is able to get to it. I anticipate calling another meeting. The next earliest available time we can do that will be Wednesday, probably about 5 p.m. We'll settle that up here in just a little bit. And if you need written copies of the comments I've just read, I'll make those available to you also. So again, thank you for coming. Appreciate your interest in the campus. And we also, Sprint, I appreciate the fact that you folks are here to make sure that people in the respective counties get their information too. So with that, I would call us into about a 1-minute break for before we go into closed session. Thank you very much. Okay, it is 5:09. We're back in open session. And I'd like to read this statement after some good discussions. The board appreciates the opportunity that the letter from Senators Estes and Birdwell has presented to us. We are resolved to come to a constructive plan with our service area partners that will be good for the entire service area. And with that in mind, we have posted, I think, a meeting next Wednesday at 5 o'clock to further work this issue, which is as soon as we can do it under the constraints of the law. And with that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none. Any opposed? No opposed. Meeting's adjourned.